This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. No.
Y'all,
Just
this
stop.
is a sham. Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Does everybody have like something to do each day of the week? Like Wednesday, I'm like, oh yeah, Survivor's on tonight. It's gonna be a fun day. You know what I mean? Like when you get home.
Absolutely.
Do you?
Tuesdays for me. This Love After Lockup on All Black or We, and I watch my Love After Lockup. It's the best show besides this one on television. So
I have something like that. Like Tuesdays, I get home from work and I'm like, oh, you know what? I gotta watch Below Deck from yesterday, and I'm all excited.
there you go.
Yeah,
Little
I have
things.
each little thing for each day to. I like it. I like it. All right, maybe not so much for everybody. Let's get into what everybody's talking about. Kim Kardashian. That's right. Is she controlling Pete Davidson? Kim's getting some backlash after a spat the couple had while shooting behind-the-scenes footage. Getting ready for the Met Gala. Let's watch.
Take the double hat off.
My double hat? I didn't know where to put my hat.
So hold it, just in case.
All the cool kids are
Because
wearing
if it
that
works,
these
then
days.
we want to use this somewhere.
What? What?
Just if I want to post any behind the scenes, if you don't want
Oh,
to
you
look
don't
like
want me to
a
have a double hat?
Choose one.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I'm just looking out for you.
No, it's cool.
Hey, you want me to take it? I'll put it. We got some stuff.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
This hat caused a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're finished.
Oh my gosh.
Erica, what'd you take from that?
You know, I think some people are going to look at that and be like, she's trying to control him. But I think he also looked ridiculous. And I think she's right. Like, in a way, she was trying to, like, kind of help him out and have his back, because there's been times with my husband, like, he's not the most, like, conscientious about, like, the style, or, you know, that's not his language. So there's times where I'm like, hey, you know, I get it. I understand
I see what
what
you're
you're
going for.
doing, but maybe don't wear that shirt with that jacket. We've all done it. I think it just looks different when Kim Kardashian does it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you ever get into this with?
Yeah, yes, and it's like really. First of all, our old wardrobe stylist Kiri just. If we need to write a book for our journey together, because I used to be like, I'm going to take this shirt, and she's like, no, you're not. You look like a crazy magician. You know, it's like, when you start to like have these conversations, you realize what goes with what. It really helps. And the way that Kim was doing it, I think, is how have you ever seen like a super famous person, Tori, like an A-list, and they look crazy on some interview?
Yeah.
And you look and you go, oh, you don't have one real friend.
Yeah.
Like your real friend would be like, that jacket now. And you're like, no, it makes me, no, you look crazy. And I feel like that's what she was doing. That's real love.
Yeah, if Kim wanted advice on how to be funny, she would go to Pete Davidson. She knows what to look good for her own brand. That wasn't even like a fight. That was like a little nothing, I think.
But when somebody says what you have on looks silly, you take it a little. He was a little like. Oh.
I guess it's because I'm the Anthony in this situation. Brooks will tell me that's not good.
Yeah.
And I am not offended by it. I'm
But
fine
you
with
take it well.
Yeah, of course.
But isn't it almost at a point where Pete is so different? Like, do you even try to be like, that hat needs to go? Like, his style is his
The
own.
double hat
Yeah,
was
she
on.
lets it style.
You know,
But that's not a fashion choice. That was more of like a choice of convenience. Hey, I don't have any place to put my second hat. I guess I'll put it on my head with the first one. Like, you know, it wasn't like it was meaningful in some way, like he was making some statement.
Yeah, no, I get you. I just
double hat.
I wanted to give the fans a little Kardashian, a little jolt to Kardashian. All right, This Is Us fans, grab your tissues. The final episode of the beloved series is only 2 weeks away. The show star Mandy Moore told Jimmy Fallon that she has had a physical reaction to reading the second to last episode and even threw up. She said with the show ending and her character Rebecca facing the end of her life, it might be a bit too much for fans. Let's watch.
There was a lot wrapped up in it, but I still think that like you might need a day off from work.
Really?
Yes.
It's one of those gems?
But the finale is a bit more of a hug. I think there's a little bit more levity. Yeah, the second to last it destroyed me. I have a feeling it might destroy people too.
Eric, are you still on the show?
Yes.
All right.
I made a conscious decision knowing, first of all, thank you to the producers of the show for at least letting us know that this was going to be the last season well in advance. So I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm waiting to binge the whole thing because The problem with This Is Us for me is that there needs to be resolve after every episode so I feel better. And because it's a series, obviously you're not getting that resolve. So I'm going to wait until after the show finale and then watch it all the way through because it does destroy me mentally. Yes, it does.
Well, I mean, it seems like that's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
Every episode is so.
This show,
I can't.
Al and I are on the same page on this.
Tori, I just like I didn't know that like one character could have cancer and also be in a car accident and also be carjacked at the same time. Every character is having 5 terrible things happen to them in every episode. I'm not here for it.
And every time I talk to someone about This Is Us, and again, I'm talking about people in the studio who watch, it's like their insides were ripped out after every week. It's
I don't
like
wanna feel like that.
horrendous, and I already feel like that every day.
Just go to Love After Lockup. Yeah.
No, I think there's a place for Love After Lockup for you, Al.
Right here, Mom.
But I think what really resonates with people are these are like real life issues. And I know for each year that I watch, I'm the same age as the characters, like as they're, starting out the year with their birthday. So I really think about, what this means in life. And I don't know, I feel for as much sorrow as I can feel during watching it, I also feel a lot of joy.
Do you get a good cry?
Oh, I cry a lot for This Is Us.
Yeah, it's like
That's
very cathartic, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a good cry out.
Okay.
All right. If I ever need a good cry, I'll tune into This Is Us.
Yes.
All right. So Melissa Gilbert is getting honest about aging in Hollywood. In her new memoir, Melissa, who's 58, said that after her second marriage ended, she went through a sort of midlife crisis. Melissa divorced fellow actor Bruce Boxleitner in 2011 after 16 years of marriage. At the time, she made physical changes to feel better about herself, like getting Botox, fillers, coloring her hair, and even bought a Mustang convertible. She said being a single woman in her 40s in LA was a whole different league of pressure. That was until she met her current husband, actor Timothy Busfield, and moved to upstate New York. She said she let her hair go gray, stopped focusing on what she looked like, and allowed herself to age. Isn't that just a normal response, right?
Yeah,
we're all going to get older.
Right,
We're
but
all gonna
LA
get older.
is the weird anomaly here. LA is just a very strange. We all lived in LA at some point. Did you live in LA?
No.
Oh, almost all of us lived in LA, and it's it's just a Botox-filled,
But
plastic-filled.
is it just LA though?
For me, the places I've been, maybe it's not, but for Hollywood, it was an dense capacity of people all like that flocked there, and I know what she means about that. I'm happy I'm in Denver and turning 40.
Well, I mean, I think that there's just a difference in terms of like how we look at just our economy overall, in that the people aren't really aging out of jobs like they used to. People aren't retiring right at 55. Like my mom still works. People still work. So I think there's this confluence of like young people coming up and older people kind of still in their job. And I think people want to stay looking young.
Yeah, but I also think that there was a lot to unpack there because she's also talking about a divorce and then getting to know yourself again. And I think a lot of people will hide behind all the things that you can physically do to change yourself and not allow themselves to really get to know who they are. I was lucky enough to get to know who I am so that no matter where I am in my life, I feel good about
You're grounded.
me.
Yeah.
I think it starts on the inside. You have to be happy on the inside to be
Right.
happy on the outside. And the more you do that, you're just masking things.
It is, but it's louder in Los Angeles.
I do agree with that. Coming up on DBL, our interview with one of the iconic Budweiser guys who made the Tori
What's that?
face frame and destroyed sneakers for sale. We'll explain why these shoes, Al, you don't even want to know how much they cost. It's making me throw up like Mandy Moore.
Book of Eli.
All right,
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Closed captioning provided by
Daily Blast Live is always timely, always focused, always ready, always on cue. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day.
Yeah, I don't know if like the aging thing is just like LA though. I think a
No,
lot
it's
of people
everywhere.
want
It's
to
everywhere.
feel.
No, but LA is just a loud place, very
But I think
central.
any big city.
No, LA
Yeah.
is Hollywood. That's ridiculous.
I know, but I think each big city has its own little,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. I think Tori might feel that way more because of the industry that we're in.
Yeah.
that's-
But
yeah,
I
it's located
would
there.
I would say that there people are constantly feeling this pressure, especially because we live in such a small world now with social media. You constantly have the comparison, whereas maybe before Instagram, LA would have been the place where everyone was constantly comparing themselves to their neighbor. Now you can pick up your phone and compare yourself to anyone your age. I mean, from women who are posting, their snapback pictures after 3 weeks of giving birth, to women who might be, at a certain age, and now they're looking at the women of the same age being celebrated on social media because they're an anomaly. So I don't know. I've never lived in LA. Now I'm just grateful that I never did, apparently.
Erica, can I ask you this? Do you think more people may be doing it because it's more affordable? I don't remember hearing about fillers and stuff like 10 years ago. Now I feel like a lot of people...
Also, things have come a long way, but also the pandemic, look at the beauty industry and esthetician services, they skyrocketed during and since the pandemic because people were constantly seeing themselves on Zoom, unfiltered. So, a lot of people have really gotten it, and men have gotten more into it.
Al, you should explain what that is because I did not know what that was.
Are you drinking beer?
The liquid death waters. Have you had these?
No, why is
So
it
I thought it was an IPA or something.
No.
Yeah, I did. I really did. I didn't know that until 2 weeks ago.
Have you seen these, Chris?
Yeah.
I love these.
Why is it called?
I said you better explain though because if someone sees that.
They have this weird
That is a marketing genius.
Does it smell good?
No, it's just
Welcome back. The coastal grandmother look is the latest fashion trend sweeping the nation.
Love it.
But you don't have to be an actual grandmother to pull off the look. Even J-Lo seems to be a fan of the style, which includes neutral colors and long flowing fabrics. Diane Keaton perfected the look in the movie Something's Gotta Give, which stylists describe as crisp, clean, and comfy.
This is all me. It's nautical, it's blue and white linens, it's bucket hats, it's nice belts, and it's a lot of grandpa.
I've literally never seen you wear any of those.
Yeah, you see me dressed like this every day.
Do you wear that when you go to the Cape?
The cardigans, absolutely. Like a nice woolen, big, thick knit, cable knit. And then you're out there in the ocean and you're dreaming. It's very cool.
That sounds dreamy.
You wear those grandpa sweaters.
I'm a grandpa sweater guy all the way. Are you into this fashion, Erica?
I think I've always kind of had something that looked like that. I'm more I have more of a boho, I lean very boho in the summer. So I like things that are flowy, I don't see it being a new thing.
Let's be honest, black folks have been dressing like that Tom Joyner cruise.
Right.
The linens,
exactly.
Like anybody
Exactly.
Now it's on TikTok, so it's famous. Yeah, I see.
All right, so speaking of fashion trends, would you pay, it makes me mad, $1,800 for a pair of destroyed sneakers? Luxury fashion label Balenciaga just launched these high tops that look like they've been put through a shredder and run over by multiple cars for $1,850. I'm insulted. The label says only 100 pairs of the extra destroyed sneakers will be available to buy.
Extra destroyed.
Come on, put those back up. This is what's going on in society.
I'll tell you what's happening.
Okay. Wait. So I'm going to tell. So this is just. I'm appalled. But see, let's do the next picture. My wife bought these shoes. They're called Golden Goose shoes. Not these shoes. These shoes. Look, they look like they're worn.
Oh.
Okay, and she wanted them for a present.
They come like that.
Yeah, and I refused to buy them for her. Yeah.
I know you did.
Oh, I definitely did.
I know you did.
And then she showed up and treated herself one day, and I'm like, you bought those shoes? Because she wanted. I'm bad at treating myself with big pride, or apparently people I love. But I'm not doing that. I'm not supporting this crazy industry. Those shoes are worth $500. The ones my wife got.
I didn't realize because there was such an old school kind of sexist trope that women, you guys in your shoes. And I started looking. I was like, all my homeboys are way more into shoes than my homegirls are. And there is a, I wouldn't even say underground. There is a community, no different than football fans, of people that are sneaker heads.
I lived
This
on
is
Fairfax in
how
LA.
they live. This
There's
is
a
what
show
they talk
coming out about it.
Yes, there is, and it's its own world. And so, like, I think for us looking on the outside, we're like, who would do that? But I think a lot of people in these worlds are like,
this isn't sneakerhead. This isn't like Jordan's, 92. Look at these shoes. They're trash.
What did Kanye
They're trash.
say? Just so you, I can say you ain't up on this. That's why you have those, because people know how much those shoes are.
Doesn't it remind you in Zoolander of when, as the Mugatu, do you guys remember that he did the poverty line, and it was derelict, and everyone looked like they were like homeless, and it's sort of like insulting.
But there's no pushback here? Like,
right, that's
really,
what I'm saying.
Like, I'm serious.
Well, what's the pushback? It's not for everyone. I think that there is, regardless of what things look like, there's always a market for it, not for everyone. That's the market. It doesn't matter what the actual item is. It's the idea of exclusivity. So who's the demo
for like that? Just like high-end celebrities going
We're
crazy.
in this society that everyone's bad-mouthing billionaires, and there's only 1% of the upper, and everyone else is poor. Isn't that kind of like putting gasoline on that argument?
But I feel like, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's
I
a
don't
statement
see
on
it
that
way. I mean, people choose to spend their money however they want to spend their money. Like, I know that some people are like, I wouldn't ever spend that much on a person. Nobody's asking you to. But then other people aren't going to spend that type of money on a vehicle that you might be spending that type of money on. So I never am like, why would you spend that money?
I think it's a comment also on how much you would spend for something to look like that. I think it's a postmodern
we talk
comment.
about like, oh, billionaires going to space. I think Balenciaga should get some pushback. I'm like physically mad about this.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm mad. Where's Balenciaga? Who is it? All right, coming up on DBL, we're continuing our classic commercial series with one of the Budweiser guys who made that iconic. You want to try again, Tori?
What's up?
Yeah, line famous. Stick around.
The Food and Drug Administration proposed banning the sale of menthol cigarettes. These are the last remaining flavored cigarettes on the market and are especially popular among Black Americans. Some social media users claim the ban targets Black Americans, while others say tobacco companies have spent decades using menthol to get Black communities addicted to cigarettes. So let's verify. Does the tobacco industry target menthol cigarette advertising to Black Americans? Our sources are the American Lung Association, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, the Food and Drug Administration, Stanford University's Repository of Tobacco Advertising, and the NAACP. Menthol was first added to cigarettes in the 1920s. The American Lung Association says the mint extract helps mask the harshness of cigarettes, which can also make menthol cigarettes more addicting, according to a Yale University study. CDC data shows that 93% of Black adults who smoke started by using menthol cigarettes, compared to 44% of white adults. The CDC says the tobacco industry targeted the Black community by sponsoring hip-hop bar nights where they offered samples of menthol cigarettes and featured, quote, urban culture and language in their ads. A Stanford University research collection of tobacco ads highlights decades of menthol ads that they say were marketed toward a younger, urban demographic, and African Americans are particularly targeted. The Lung Association and Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids say these ads worked at making menthol cigarettes more popular in minority communities. The NAACP wrote a letter supporting the FDA's ban on menthol cigarettes, saying the tobacco industry used egregious marketing practices in Black communities. So, it's true. The tobacco industry does target menthol cigarette advertising to Black Americans.
They taught us that a simple hi or a hey was boring, and they gave us one of the most memorable greetings of all time. Earlier, we spoke with one of the stars from the iconic, everybody do it with me, what's up, Budweiser commercial. They did it. Take a look. Thank you.
Hello? What's that? What's up? Yo, where's Dookie? Yo, Dookie!
Yo.
What's that?
With that.
Hold on. Hello?
So what's up, B?
Watching the game, having a bud.
True.
Scott Brooks, a.k.a. Dookie, to the show.
Dookie, since you're here, I gotta give you one. What's that? You gotta commit. You gotta commit. So that greeting is actually something you did with your friends years before Budweiser got its hands on it. How did this commercial even come to be? That's so interesting.
Growing up, my best friend was a guy named Charles Stone, and he was a music video director, but he wanted to get into the feature film world. So he made a short film that was kind of going to be like his calling card so that he could get into the feature film world. And it was entered into some film festivals, and people started seeing it. And since this was like, you know, the late 90s, before the internet and YouTube, people were making copies of the videotape back in the bootleg tape day and sending it around and giving it to their friends and everything. And one of the ad execs from DDB in Chicago saw the video and called him and said, yo, we want to turn this into a Budweiser commercial.
Wow. That's crazy.
Wow.
Now, you guys are all still friends. Do you still say that to each other, or you're like, listen, Doug, enough? I don't know if any of your friends are named Doug.
I wouldn't say we like, listen, that's enough. No, we would never say that. But I mean, like, that was something we actually used to do with each other back in our teens and 20s. So when Charles was going to make the short film, he actually told me, he's like, it's about that thing we used to do back in the day, you know? So, yeah.
That's so cool.
So now we do other silly stuff now when we see each other.
Ooh, coming soon.
Yeah. Mary Lou, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say, did you have to audition, or did your friend just have you do the part? Because you guys were,
okay,
you know.
here's the funny thing. Hi, Mary Lou. First of all, big fan.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I was not in the short film. So when Anheuser-Busch spoke to him and said, we want to, you know, turn this into the commercial, he called me. I was working as a bouncer in a nightclub in Philly. So he called me and he's like, listen, we're holding auditions. Get up here and audition. Whoa. So I did. I came up and I auditioned, and I ended up getting the part of Dookie. So.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's appropriate, you know, that would happen. Now, do people yell?
Come on, you got to give it. You got to give it.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to do it.
Come on.
Do people yell, what's that? Yes. That's going to be on my highlight reel. To you on the street. And do you have a favorite fan encounter?
People still, you know, when they recognize me, which isn't as often as it used to be, but every now and then they surprise me. And now, back in the day, yeah, they just used to run up right in my ear, yell, ah! Now it's a quiet thing. They quietly, you know, sidle up next to me and go like, what's that? And let me know that they know it's me. I actually, this is 100% true. I actually had a woman tell me that her child's first words were, what's up?
No, come on. Does it ever get old for you to have somebody do that, or do you, like, love it?
See, here's the thing, and this is what I've always said from day one. We could have gotten famous for something that everybody hated. You know, then we'd have people coming up and punching us in the face and kicking us in the shin. But it's love. It's all love. So when people do it, they do it from a place of, you know, love. And so it's great.
Well
great.
said.
I love it.
Well said, Scott. So how did this commercial change your life, you and your friends' lives?
I was working as a nightclub bouncer, and then I was a working actor, and not just a working actor, but I was literally world famous, you know, so, and it just, everything snowballed from there. I hosted a television show on ABC. I've done other commercials, you know, I've done movies, I've done other television. Yeah, so it just completely changed my life.
DBL Nation, be sure to follow Scott on Facebook. Thank you, Scott, for taking us down a trip down memory lane. So cool. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Promotional consideration is brought to you.
Anti-vaccine advocate Todd Callender claimed the COVID-19 vaccine causes AIDS during an interview with Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. A video of the exchange was posted to the video sharing platform Rumble and Twitter on May 3rd.
You've got more than 100 doctors here, all of whom will tell you that these shots caused vaccine-induced AIDS. They purposefully gave people AIDS.
Callender did not provide any proof for his claim, which has been seen by more than 100,000 people on social media. So Let's verify. Does the COVID-19 vaccine cause AIDS? Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the World Health Organization, the National Institutes of Health, and Dr. Pyle Coley with the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus. We want to be clear up front that this claim is false. The CDC says there is no association between COVID-19 and HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. And the NIH explains the only way someone can get HIV is through bodily fluids that are transmitted from person to person. Dr. Coley pointed out there have been millions of COVID-19 doses administered and told Verify in a statement there is, quote, no reporting in the vaccine adverse events reporting system that there's an association between the COVID vaccine and development of AIDS. Johnson later tweeted that he also does not believe the vaccine causes AIDS. So it's false that the COVID-19 vaccine causes AIDS. So where did this claim originate? Some skeptics point to a study published in the journal The Lancet as proof. Researchers highlighted vaccines made in China and Russia that are manufactured with adenovirus vectors and argue they may make men more susceptible to becoming infected with HIV if they're exposed to it. They did not say these vaccines induce HIV or AIDS, and the two vaccines that use adenovirus vectors, CanSino and Sputnik V, are not approved by the WHO or FDA. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
New inflation figures could impact the dollars in your wallet. Let's connect the dots. Inflation hit a decades-high record, 8.5% in March. That means you're likely paying more for everyday goods like groceries. It also means your money isn't as valuable today as it was this time last year. The key question is whether America's inflation rate is topping out or plowing forward. The Federal Reserve is aggressively raising interest rates to counteract inflation, leading to the highest mortgage rates we've seen in about a decade. The Fed's actions have also thrown stocks into correction territory. Tech giants lost more than $1 trillion in value from Thursday to Monday. Inflation could fall for the rest of the year. Some economists predicting it will be around 4% by the end of the year. If that happens, your money will go much further without you having to do a thing. And that is connecting the dots.
Daily Blast Live is always focused, always ready, always on cue, always timely. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day.
Welcome back. The seasons are changing, it's getting warmer, and you want some new spring and summer gear, right? But your closet is already packed with clothes. Well, we've got an app that's going to solve your problems, and it's called Vinted. Welcome to your new community. Vinted is a secondhand fashion-focused app where you can buy and sell pre-loved fashion. Just take a photo, write up a detailed description, set the price you want, and upload. There are no hidden selling fees, so the price you set is the price you're going to make. And if you're the buyer, you just search using filters like brand, color, or even condition, and when you finally find that dream piece, you pay through the app. The best part, to ensure your money is safe, the seller doesn't get paid until you receive your item and make sure it's okay. And get this, Vinted is free to download, so if you don't wear it, sell it. If you got destroyed shoes and blood is extra, sell them for $2,000 on Balenciaga's website. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.